It's time. We got to talk about it, okay? Gunna, he's released a new song. Young Thug's brother has unreleased himself from society back into jail with a bonehead maneuver, as Walter White would say. And let's talk about it, man. So let's start here. This is a good place to start. So obviously I can't play you the song that Gunna released, Bread and Butter. Okay, and as a crumpet eating gentleman from the UK myself, you know, bread and butter, that's what I like to hear in a song concept. I think we need less songs about sliding, more songs about delicious condiments. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I really hate about Genius? They just always put the text just all on this one side. Like, you can't make the text bigger and to make it fill the screen. It's a garbage website, frankly. But look at the state of this. Anyway, I guess you'll just, guys, you'll have to get your bifocals on because we're not going to be able to read this otherwise. Is there a way I can make this way bigger or something? Oh, I might have finessed it. Okay, I might have finessed it. Scratch everything I said. I should shout out Genius. They're great. All right, can you read that? You can read. I can see that on the other monitor. Okay, so Gunna has released this new song called Bread and Butter. Obviously, as we all know, Gunna recently took a plea deal as part of the whole YSL RICO case. And, you know, he was on some yes ma'am shit, basically. You know, he said yes ma'am when he was asked, is YSL a street gang and a label? You know what I'm saying? He basically wrapped everything up in a tight little package for prosecutors, or so it seemed, to admit and put on the record that YSL is a gang. Now, I personally always... Everyone wants to call Gunna a snitch and say, well, you know, he's admitted that YSL are a gang. And before that, there was no concrete admission that YSL was a gang. Now, that's cap. Because if you've seen my video on the YSL versus YFN Atlanta's secret gang war, you will know that actually YSL has been identified as a gang in the YFN indictment. So, sorry Gunna haters, but you know what I'm saying? The feds had on paper that YSL was a street gang already, so ain't nothing new really there. And, you know, will Gunna testify on the stand? He says he won't, but if the feds call on him, I'm pretty sure his plea agreement said that he would have to appear if called, and I suppose he would just try and take the fifth. I mean, I don't really know how the Fifth Amendment works, but I'm pretty sure, like, you can't just finesse it and just plead the fifth on everything. Like, you might be held in contempt. They might throw him in jail for those 5 years. I don't know. But here's what I do know. Gunna got out. He finessed his way out. A lot of people think he's a snitch, and he's released this song, Bread and Butter. So let's see. Let's just see the background. Bread and Butter marks Gunna's first release following his December 2022 release. Yes, ma'am. After he pled guilty to one count of racketeering charges. Throughout the track, Gunna speaks on several people in the rap industry, such as Young Thug, Lil Durk, Lil Baby, Pierre P. Thomas, the founder of Quality Control Music. Gunna tackled the public response following his taking a plea deal in the YSL RICO case, yes ma'am, where several rappers decided to distance themselves from the Atlanta rapper in order to maintain their solidarity towards Young Thug and YSL. We'll talk about that later. Rapping in a slow and smooth cadence over a guitar beat, Gunna also claimed he was tricked by the district attorney into taking that plea, sounds like cap, and that it was by mistake. Whoops! I slipped on a banana peel and fell into a plea agreement to get released from this hellhole that you call prison. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Easy mistake to make. You know, sometimes you're brushing your teeth, you're heading down to the chow hall, and whoops! Took a little plea. Anyway, the official music video directed by Lef sees Gunna in a black and white setting, possibly referring to a deeper meaning behind it as a black and white situation. Black and white like his paperwork. Oh, spitting bars. And one where things are easy to decide right or wrong. This can play into the track's title as one's bread and butter. Wait, hang on. This can play into the track's title as one's bread and butter is a phrase to refer to one's source of income, suggesting that due to him taking a plea, the industry is attempting to make it harder for him to earn a livelihood, but he's released this song and it's done very well, so I think his bread is thoroughly buttered. But let's look at the lyrics. Let's work out some of these things that people are talking about. So hopefully Genius has just done all the work for me, but there might be a few other things that we didn't get to. P's and Q's. Anyway, right. So let's just look at the lyrics in full, okay? So going all out when it's about that bread and butter, okay? Oh man, I might have to see, this is why Genius that are on some funky-ish. Okay, can you see that? Can y'all see that? I hope you can see that. All right. Gunna begins the song by addressing the thing which means the most to him within the context of his decision-making process, money, aka bread and butter. He'll do whatever it takes to make money, including take a plea deal, and I guess snitch, even though I don't really see it as snitching, but yeah, he took a plea. You know, if you look at things from like the Al Capone, old school mafioso, Godfather, Michael Corleone, Kiss the Ring, pause, perspective, just even acknowledging that the mafia exists is considering snitching. I watched Sopranos. I watched The Sopranos all the way through for like the 100th time recently, and just when Johnny Sack, if you're a Sopranos fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. When Johnny Sack takes a plea deal and admits that the mafia are a real thing, he's dead to a lot of people because that's snitching in the mafia's book. But this ain't the mafia. This is YS. This is young slime life. And as far as I know, Gunna wasn't smoking fools. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so they'll kill for clout. I put that on my dead brother. He talks so much. I showed him I'm a real hunter. Yes, ma'am. Won't say it, but he know I still got real cutters. So is he saying he's still got, you know what I'm saying, he's still got people ready to swing a shank and an AK for him, even though he is admitting to prosecutors that he is in a gang. Yeah, and I'm right back. I lost mad commas. I had been down bad inside a dark tunnel. F them boys. I found out who my real partners and who was only with me because I had dollars. Now, this is interesting because to me, this is almost, when he says F them boys, he could be saying F the feds, F the boys in blue who tricked me into taking a plea deal. Or he could be saying fuck Young Thug, fuck YSL. I found out who my real partners. Okay, so he's not saying, oh, F the feds, I found out who my real partners. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know what it sounds like he's saying? He's saying, F them boys, YSL, I found out who my real partners, prosecutors. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like. But at the same time, I don't see why he should remain solid for YSL, quite frankly. As far as I know, Gunna didn't seem like he was straight gangbanging out here. I don't know him personally. It seemed like he was a musician. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he was a successful recording artist in the music industry. I don't see why he should sit down and spend 20 years in jail for, let's be real, a Cheeto-eating clown who, you know, decided he would contract murder despite having a promising music career. But anyway, F them boys, I found out who my real partners and who was only with me because I had dollars. Now, I don't know whether that's, you know, that could be talking about some hanger-on in his camp that he's finally gotten rid of, or that could refer to, you know, all these people in YSL hanging around him, putting him in dangerous situations and risking his freedom for money and clout and fame. I don't know, but let's keep going. I never fucked a dude. I gotta stop the swearing. I never effed a dude. Always stayed solid. Kept it real with dudes. Never lied. And always stay honest. Yes, ma'am. Love my bro so much, I'd never change on him. So what does Genius say about this? Okay, in May of 2022, Gunna was arrested and charged with one count of conspiracy to violate the racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations, the RICO Act. Okay, one count of conspiracy. So Gunna's not being accused of doing something. He's not being accused of sliding on anyone. He's not being accused of organizing the rental car to go and murder somebody. He is just being accused of associating with these gangsters. And I think he got pulled over in a car with Thug and all this stuff. But he and Young Thug were arrested along with 26 other individuals as part of the grand jury indictment that named their affiliation to YSL, Young Slime Life, as a criminal street gang, and his involvement as criminal street gang activity. The indictment alleges that YSL, under the leadership of Thug, engaged in murder, armed robbery, and witness intimidation. And it's got a hyperlink there, I don't care. Among other illegal acts in furtherance of gang. Definitely crimes against music and crimes against grammar, because you can't understand what these guys are saying half the time. But anyway, that wasn't in the indictment. In December of 2022, Gunna was released from prison after entering a Alford plea agreement. We might need a Wikipedia definition of that. But essentially, that's the yes ma'am agreement. That's the yes ma'am special. That is, yes ma'am, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Let me get out of this cell and get back to my bread and butter. I don't see the problem, personally. He admitted to YSL's status as a criminal street gang, which had already been mentioned and cited in the YFN indictment. Not by a snitch, but just by the intelligence that the cops had. They know that YSL's a street gang. You know what I'm saying? This ain't something new. So I can't believe Gunna has finally confirmed that YSL's a street gang when they've been basically trying to take this street gang down for years. Anyway, Several members accepted plea deals, as well as YSL co-founder Walter Murphy, Lil Duke, and Slime Life Shorty. So we kind of already covered this, right? But following the guilty plea, Gunna has been widely accused of being a snitch, particularly following the release of leaked audio from his Alford plea. Now, I don't think Gunna was counting on being recorded at that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he thought the Pro Tools were loaded up in that session with the whole Yes Ma'am thing, okay? Yes Ma'am would probably be a fire ad-lib, but that day, you know what I'm saying? Somebody pressed the red button when they shouldn't have, and that... It's unfortunate for Gunna because he's having to face all this snitch plea allegations, but, you know what I'm saying? I personally, I'm an absolutist when it comes to freedom of information. I think we should be able to see every goddamn second of these court proceedings. Every plea... I think there should be HD 4K cameras in the courtroom. Every one of these trials should be like the OJ trial, if you ask me. And I personally think it's downright wrong that they try and conceal all this information. So, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, enough of my own political opinions. You know, Gunna still maintains that he's innocent, but he took the plea. But he wanted to get out. You know, they did corner him. But anyway, Gunna insists that he would never inform on his friends. Okay, and that's what this line is all about. I always kept it real, never lied, and I stay honest with his friends or the prosecutors, I guess. It's unlikely that Gunna will testify against YSL members. Now, what's this link? It's a little Bruce, my boy Bruce. I don't really care, but I guess it's unlikely that he will testify. But you know, that's the situation. So let's go back to these lyrics. So it says, I'm the one to go and do the work, bring you the damn profits. Now, I think in this case, he's talking about genuine, you know, good, honest, hard graft, actual work, not murder for hire, the sort of work that Thug was allegedly getting people to put in the streets, which I can't agree with because I think it's awful what he's been accused of. But he says, I'm the one to go and do the work, bring you the damn profits. What he's essentially saying here is he's the one that's going to the studio, putting in work, dripping harder, making these songs. So that all these other YSL guys, look, I don't know what sort of percentage Thug was getting off of all of Gunna's music, but Gunna was straight up on YSL. So the idea that Thug is creaming a little percentage off the top of everything Gunna's making, but then he wants him to sit down and do 20 years with him because he screwed up plotting a murder for hire, allegedly, back in the day, it's absurd. So Gunna says, hustled on my own, I always didn't know how to sell product. Hustled on my own, I always didn't know how to sell product. It could go either way. I mean, I guess he's sort of saying, like, you know, I hustled on my own, I always didn't know how to sell product. I feel like that's another little yes ma'am, because I feel like what he meant to say is I always knew how to sell product. I hustled on my own. I always knew how to sell product before I got involved with these alleged murderers who have ruined my life by association, essentially. But anyway, I don't know. He's saying, dude ain't give me shit. I grind so long, came from the damn bottom. So he's actually saying, like, look, I've been a hustler. I've been doing my own music. Thug ain't really give me anything. I grinded so long, I came from the bottom. I did my thing. You know what I'm saying? Why should I go and sit for 20 years in jail over dude? Everyone speaking on my name could have some real problems. Prosecutorial problems, perhaps. Yes ma'am type problems, perhaps. Gunna, you can't be taking deals with prosecutors and doing the yes ma'am act, but then also sort of hinting you're going to slide on people. That's not going to slide. He says, we are not the same. Ain't in my lane. I got my own column. He might have a column taller than mine at this point. But anyway, yeah, peeping shit. I'm seeing dudes fall back. You bitch-ass dudes got me as the topic of the chat. You switched on me when you knew you in business with a rat. Now, this is where it gets a little bit spicy. Okay, so look. This is what Genius says, okay? Ever since Gunna's plea deal in February of 2023 on the YSL RICO case, he seemingly became the trending topic in conversation, sparking controversial opinions on whether he can be classified as a snitch or not. This line could be targeted at multiple people, most prolifically longtime friend Lil Baby. Gunna and Lil Baby were known to be a formidable duo, having collaborated on many songs together. In 2018, the pair released their Dripped Harder project to critical and commercial success, arguably putting them both on the map. Since then, Baby has not mentioned Gunna and has unfollowed him on social media. He's saying, you switched on me, you unfollowed me, you in business with a rat. Gunna could be referring to Pierre P. Thomas, also known as P, who is the co-owner to Baby's label Quality Control and his mentor. In May 2023, there has been paperwork floating around that claims Pierre cooperated in a murder case back in 2020. P responded to the allegations, saying, I see that 300 million got all them hating ass dudes mad back home. Anybody know me, know my character. Our culture's so effed up. It's sad that y'all live in this imaginary street dream. I'm changing lives and I'm changing my family's curse. I don't got no love for no dudes that try to kill me or mine. I ain't in the streets. Never wanted to be. I played the hand I was dealt and made something out of it. Y'all bum ass dudes should do the same. Stop glorifying dumb shit. I actually agree with that. R.I.P. to my dog Q, an innocent man with 5 kids who lost his life to a bum ass waste man who didn't value his own life. I'm a goat. Don't ever confuse me with a rat. Now, take that fraudulent indictment report and stick it up your ass. I love my freedom, so stop playing with it. Now, before I go to the next part, let me just talk about that. So, my boy 1090 Jake has got a whole reams of information on this that you can go and look at in your own spare time. I would watch it, but I haven't got time. I'm trying to head out later on this evening. But anyway, what's alleged is that P that had essentially, written a statement on a dude that had was trying to kill him. I think he was at the mall and he spotted a guy that killed his friend, and confronted the dude, and then the dude chased him through Lenox Mall with a gun. And apparently he did some talking, did some telling, spoke to the cops. Here's something I just want to get really clear at this point, and this is something that I'm really passionate about, and I haven't had a chance to really speak on this. I don't know whether I want to say the hip hop community, street dudes, or just the world in general. I think we need to get over this whole no snitching thing. I think the whole no snitching ethos is bad for society. It's bad for... I think it's a bad message to spread to the kids. Now, look, I know that the cops, they got a lot of issues. The police are institutionally racist in damn near every country in the world. The police aren't always your friends. Often aren't your friends. And I know me in my position as I can't speak on my experiences with the police the same as everyone else. But God damn it, the only other option is street justice, right? No snitching. We're not going to snitch. We don't talk to the cops. We handle our own business. Okay, well, we're going to rely on street justice. Really? Street justice? Like, when really has street justice ever really delivered true justice to a victim? Like, to a victim's family? All the families of the people that King Von allegedly killed. Street justice. You know what I'm saying? Von got killed related to some completely unrelated information. It's just an unrelated situation. If there was more snitching in Chicago, perhaps the city wouldn't be too bad. Maybe that's what people don't want to hear, but I genuinely believe if there was more snitching in Chicago, things would be better. Because people want to run around and say that Chicago's out of control, the cops can't solve no crimes. But this no snitching poisonous mentality is essentially preventing the normal, everyday people from getting justice. Okay, if your sons are killed in the streets, whether they're a gang member or an innocent bystander, you're a victim of that loss. And the idea that the mother of a murdered child should be part of this no snitching street code is just absurd to me. So I personally think that that's whack and it's trash, and I don't subscribe to it. And I think we need to leave that behind if we actually want to see things improve. And that's not to say that the police don't need a lot of improvement and a lot of sorting out too. But anyway, in this statement that Q gives, he sort of says, like, don't ever confuse me with a rat. Now, the term rat, that's essentially a term to dehumanize snitches. It's the same term that Hitler used in World War II to dehumanize the people that were persecuted in World War II. I don't want to get demonetized saying a few of the wrong things, but you know what I'm saying. Calling people rats, calling human beings rats is abhorrent, right? So this whole hip-hop culture, he's a rat, she's a rat, I don't rock with it. I don't think someone's a rat. Maybe you cooperated with the authorities to get justice. I think that's quite an honourable thing to do, to be honest, even if the police are not always on the side of minorities or people or whatever the situation is. They're sometimes dirty. But, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with what Q did. I don't think there's anything wrong with what Gunna did. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with what 6ix9ine did. But everyone's coming at Gunna. Everyone's saying that he's a snitch. Lil Baby's unfollowing him, but as Gunna says himself, You switched on me when you know you are in business with a rat. And you got to keep it fair. If Gunna's a rat, P is a rat. I might have called him Q by accident a minute ago. P from QC. That's just how I see it. And you know what I'm saying? I think Gunna's spitting facts here, to be honest. I think he is using the term rat against someone else to highlight how ridiculous it is that he's been labeled as a rat. But anyway, it also says this could loosely be directed to Lil Durk, who went on DJ Academics' podcast and claimed that Gunna is a rat. Now, look, I ain't saying nothing, but it's interesting how that whole case with Lil Durk in Atlanta just disappeared after Von died. It's interesting. Anyway, rappers such as Fat Joe have blasted Academics after this, claiming the infamous hip-hop blogger has incited a beef between the two people for no reason. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch Fat Joe blasting Academics. You know what I'm saying? Pause. I ain't going to go into that one. But anyway, next line. So the next bar says, and the boy that's like your brother, ain't nobody speak on that now. Much how this line can be seen as how Lil Baby sees P like a brother, Gunna could also be alluding to G5. I don't know anything about this, actually. Lil Baby's close friend, who has also been called his brother, has been rumored around Atlanta to have cooperated with the police. I don't know anything about this one, so this is interesting. Let's see what this is all about. Is G5 a snitch? Young Thug, best friend Rue, exposes Lil Baby's brother. G5 snitched with paperwork evidence from a shooting. Wow. I haven't got time to get into this right now, but hey, you could look into this, and that's what he's talking about. It's interesting. Get Bruce out of here. The city see it clearly. If I had to state a fact, I guess he's saying that, the city of Atlanta, he's saying the city, the streets, they know what he was going through. They know he had to state a fact. They know he had to drop a little yes, ma'am, to get himself out of a difficult situation. I don't blame him. I rock with it. I think Gunna did the right thing. And Gunna's out here, right? Look, Gunna's out here getting slopped off by IG models, smoking blunts, driving his Rolls Royce, pulling up in Maybachs. You know what Young Thug's doing right now? He's not getting slopped off by IG models. Okay, I can't confirm or deny whether or not he's getting slopped off, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? He probably ain't even got a decent supply of Cheetos. Maybe he does. Maybe the commissary's hitting. Is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be Gunna in this situation, and also to have an alleged murder on my conscience also too. It's probably not got to feel great. So Gunna's probably up in life, frankly. Anyway, you still F with an N-word that done got your partner 4 stars. Now, I don't know what that means. That relating to a murder. In July 2020, Lil Baby's friend and frequent collaborator Lil Marlo was murdered. Since then, there has been rumors that 21 Savage and his gang was involved? I didn't know that. That's fresh info to me, to be honest with you. That's fresh info. That might be a video. I'll make a note of that. I'll give you an update. I'll look into that one for you. God dang. We might need a 3-hour 21 Savage talk. I can never go to Atlanta now, man. Anyway, heard these dudes talking, only knew of them because of Slacked. This is probably a reference to Lil Got It, one of many Young Thug proteges who've been calling out Gunna since he was released from jail, even though Gunna executive produced his album Top Chef Got It. Or he could be talking about Lil Durk. Durk dissed him when he said what happened to Virgil he probably gon' tell. And he also dissed him in the DJ Academics Off the Record interview. Next line, these rap boys need more streams. Heard he put my name on wax. Now, this is an unreviewed annotation, I don't know. This is a probable reference to 6ix9ine, as he was one of the most vocal critics of Gunna, despite having dealt with the same accusations. His music career never reached the same commercial peak once snitching allegations were confirmed. Cappity cap. 6ix9ine went number 1 after snitching, so that's cap. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wrote this annotation, you know what I'm saying? You need to watch some Trap Law videos. Anyway, moving on. You wouldn't even believe. I ain't had to watch my back. It's dudes really talking. How you think we done got snatched? So this is interesting, right? He's saying you wouldn't even believe I ain't had to watch my back. He didn't have to watch his back. He's saying, like, when he was in that situation, you wouldn't believe he didn't have to watch his back. He didn't have to worry about people snitching on him. He's saying there's dudes really talking. There's dudes really snitching in this case. He's saying in the YSL case, you're saying he's a snitch just because he said yes, ma'am, so that he could get out and get slopped off by IG models. He's saying there's dudes in the case that are really talking, really snitching. And he's saying, how you think we got snatched? He's saying, how do you think this RICO even came together? Somebody's snitching. Real snitching. He just said yes, ma'am, so he could get out and get some slop. But nobody sent the kite. I sent it the wrong way. Didn't get it back. This stuff done got off track. Let's get it back on track. Now, I don't know what the kite thing is. Maybe that's like a prison lingo or something, but he's saying nobody sent the kite. I sent it the wrong way. Is he saying like nobody sent him like a pack in jail? Nobody flew him a kite over the wall? I don't know. Maybe there's more to this. I'll take a look at the chat. Like if anyone knows what this is all about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But he's saying, you know, ain't no one looked at him. He sent it the wrong way. He sent his love the wrong way. You know, he sent his kite. No one sent him the kite of love. of solidarity, keeping it solid. Nobody sent him the kite of solidarity. That's what he's saying. He's saying nobody sent him the kite. He sent it the wrong way, and he didn't get it back. He sent out that love. He was looking out for people, and they didn't get it back. He's saying this shit done got off track, so let's get it back on track. He's trying to expose the truth, and also, he got off track when he got thrown in jail over some next dude's body that he had nothing to do with. He's saying, let's get this back on track. Let me set the record straight, and let me say yes, ma'am, and get some slop. So, did we do the chorus already? We've already done the chorus, so into the next verse. He's saying, what the hell did I pay these lawyers all of those millions for? Just so I won't have to say a word to dodge a railroad. So he's saying, what do you think I paid these hotshot lawyers whose sole job is to get me out of jail, get me a plea agreement, get me a deal, cut me a deal. I'm going to cut you a check, you're going to cut me a deal. Get me out of jail. He's saying, what's the point of paying this lawyer all these millions? Just so I don't have to say a word and dodge the railroading. He essentially like is saying, look, I paid lawyers millions to get me out of jail. They done got me out of jail. Yes, I had to say a few yes ma'ams. Yes, I had to acknowledge YSL's a street gang, which is already well established by the Atlanta Police Department. Like, why would he pay millions to those lawyers? I totally agree. Why would you pay millions to lawyers? And then they bring you a sweet deal that's going to get you out of jail straight away. You just got to say a few yes ma'ams. I agree. Why would you pay the lawyers? They're saying dudes find it hard to understand, though. Dog ain't put me down. I've been locked down. I didn't know which way to go. Now, this is interesting. He's saying all these street dudes with their no snitching mentality, they don't understand. They're finding it hard to understand what I did. I don't find it hard to understand what Gunna did. It makes complete sense to me as somebody that's not been institutionalized by gang culture and this toxic no snitching mentality. I understand. But he's saying that the dudes he was hanging out with don't understand. Dog ain't put me down. I've been locked down. I don't know which way to go. I guess he's kind of saying like, look, dog ain't put me down. He's saying they didn't do this to me. I've been locked down, but I didn't know what to do. He's saying I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know what to do. He says I never gave no statement and I never agreed to go on the stand on them or whatever you guys are on. Trust me, I'm a stand on it. He's saying he never gave no statement. He gave yes ma'ams. That was his statement was yes ma'am. And they said a whole bunch of stuff that's already established in numerous indictments. It's nothing new. So, you know what I'm saying? He's saying, trust me, I'm never going to take the stand on him, which is his YSL brethren. He says, I'm never going to take the stand on him. And he's saying, on whatever you guys are on, trust me, I'm a stand on it. So he's saying, he's standing on himself. He's standing on his own 2 feet. He's never given no statement. He's standing on his beliefs. He's not snitching, in his opinion. But also, he's standing on what he did. But anyway, he's saying the lawyers and the DA did some sneaky stuff. I fell for it. Now, what he's essentially alleging, and I think what a lot of people have drawn from this, is that he believed somehow, somewhere along the way, that he, you know, didn't know what he was getting into, that the plea or the hearing that he was going into wasn't what he thought it was, and that he was kind of rushed and presented this deal and he didn't really know what he was getting into. Now, I personally want to call cap on that, because you can't say the lawyers and DA did some sneaky shit, I fell for it, but then a few bars ago you're saying, what the fuck I paid these lawyers all these millions for? That first bar would indicate to me that he actually has a complete understanding of what he did, because he's saying, why would I pay the lawyers millions if not get a sweet deal and get the hell out of jail? So he actually is acknowledging that. But then later on, he's kind of backtracking on that, and I think he is just trying to save face here. He's saying the lawyers and the DA did some sneaky stuff. I fell for it. What did you fall for? You fell straight out of jail. You know what I'm saying? You fell straight into some slop. You fell straight into the back of a Maybach and went and got a massage probably. So, you know what I'm saying? If that's what the lawyers and DA sneaky shit was on, let me fall on that shit too. He's saying, I'm on my P's and Q's because this time I'm prepared for it. He's saying that from now on, he is moving very carefully. He's on his P's and Q's. He's on his best behavior. He is not trying to go back to jail and get in that situation, unlike some people who we're going to talk about in a minute. Poster shine. These dudes are throwing shade, though. Look, Gunna is shining like a diamond right now, okay? Young Thug is probably wearing some dusty overalls. You know what I'm saying? His hair, his beard, his whole situation is probably looking just nasty. You know what I'm saying? He's probably not well groomed. His teeth are probably all looking nasty. You know what I'm saying? He's not got to the jewelry dentist. I don't know what they call the guys that do your grills. You know what I'm saying? He's saying he's supposed to shine, but they're throwing shade. And look, Gunna is a real G, okay? Gunna's been dripping in diamonds, dripping harder than half of these rappers for years now, okay? He is he a legend of the game? He's certainly an accomplished and respected rapper in hip-hop that has achieved a lot of things. So he is supposed to shine. Everyone throwing shade on him. You know what I'm saying? It's either frankly, losers who might well spend 5 to 20 years in prison for their involvement in heinous crimes, or I guess people like Lil Baby who are so institutionalized by this whole no snitching mentality to the point where they would throw day one friends out the window for just taking a little cheeky yes ma'am deal to try and get their freedom. You know what I'm saying? He didn't snitch on Baby. Baby's still in business with P. Still messing with 21 Savage. I don't even know about that situation. So, anyway, I think he's supposed to shine too. I think he should be shining rather than rotting away in jail for stuff he didn't do. He's saying, I can get him hit, but I can chill and just see how it go. Now, Gunna, come on, you're losing me here, okay? A minute ago, you were doing your best, yes, ma'am. You were saying you're on your P's and Q's, Gunna. Okay, you're on your P's and Q's. So I don't know why. I'll make this a bit bigger because there's no more annotations now. You're saying you were on your P's and Q's a minute ago, but next thing, you're saying I can get him hit. So that's cap. You're not getting anyone hit. Because if you do, you're going to go and do some Young Thug type years. You're going to go back to jail. You're talking about getting people hit, bro. You can't even have like a knife in your whip. You know what I'm saying? You can't get caught with a gun. Like, you can't do anything, bro. So let's save that. It says, buddy say he wants some smoke with me, ain't in my time zone. Now, I'm quite familiar with that because I'm on a different time zone to damn near most of these rappers. And quite frankly, this is all just internet business. No one's going to slide on Gunna. No one's doing snitches get stitches on Gunna, popping Gunna over this situation. You got pundits. That's what we are, basically, right? We're hip-hop media pundits, giving our comment on supposedly what's snitching and what ain't. I don't know. This could be... this could be aimed, who knows, 1090J, could be named at any number of people that have called Gunna out and said that he's a snitch. Saying, any given day, I could just pop out one of them side doors. And I think, once again, he's talking about I can get him hit. Gunna, you can't. You're not popping out of any side doors. You're not sliding. You're not getting no one hit. You're on your P's and Q's. You're on your best behavior. So, again, leave that off. But again, I got to kind of walk back what I just said, because when 6ix9ine got out of jail, all he was talking about was up in chops at chicken shops and shooting all of the ops. And that's still banged. You know what I'm saying? I know 6ix9ine's not up in any chops at anybody. You know what I'm saying? He might up a little pork chop at the cookout, but I don't think he's upping any chops at chicken shops. So he's not popping outside doors. Gunna, he too slick. You ain't gonna know which way I pled. Stuff too hot. I can't even put no money on. And he stopped. He means his head. And you are correct, Gunna. You cannot put any money on anybody's head because you're on your P's and Q's, and you will go. You do not pass go immediately to jail. Do not collect $200. You're not putting money on anybody's head, Gunna. You know what I'm saying? You might want to put some money on the commissary. You might want to put some money on dudes' books in jail if they were your friends. But you're not putting money on anybody's head. And this line as well is interesting, where it says, Gunna, he too slick. You ain't gonna know which way I pled. We saw it all. 4K, yes ma'am. We know exactly how you pled, homie. It's a weird one. Pulling up, pop out, like what the F you dude said. Not happening, Gunna. Not happening. I might just send this to your PO myself. Ain't with all this talking, this the last time I'ma say it. I mean, he was with all that talking when he was saying yes ma'am. Probably think I'm sick the way I keep popping these meds. Now, he's still on the drugs. Look, I'm cracking a few jokes, but like, let's be real here. Gunna has been through a lot of trauma, a lot of difficulty in this situation. He's probably self-medicating, you know. He's probably depressed. He's probably been through a lot. He's probably got PTSD from this breakneck situation, just completely fucking his life up, sending him to jail when he was at the height of his career. It was only a few months before he was hauled off to jail that we were all pushing P and celebrating Gunna's music. So no doubt he's gone through some trauma, and I have the utmost sympathy for that. So I finally found out that's just the way the devil dance. Had too many round that I fed that bit my hand. I got too many folks to feed. You just don't understand. So he's essentially, this final couple of bars, he's basically addressing all these people saying that he's a snitch. Saying, look, I've got so many people to feed. I've got to feed my family. I've got to get my bread and butter. You don't understand. Why am I going to just sit in jail? Why am I just going to sit there rotting away in jail like Thug when I'm not actually involved in this alleged murder for hire that he allegedly committed? I've got too many folks to feed. You just don't understand. And I agree. I mean, I sympathize, and I'm on Gunna's side. I can't possibly say that I understand what that feels like to be facing federal charges. And I'd say yes, ma'am, in an instant. So, look, that was Bread and Butter by Gunna. That was my opinion on that. But I think here's what you don't do, basically. Here's what you don't do, okay? So, Gunna hit the yes ma'am real quick, got out of jail, got where he needed to be, looking after his people, doing his thing. Salute to him, respect, and as he said in Bread and Butter, he's got to be on his P's and Q's. This clown, on the other hand, he was given a chance. He was given a sweet deal by the judge. Young Thug's brother, Unfunk, gets 9-year sentence for violating RICO probation. Now, there's a lot to this, okay? Young Thug's biological brother and YSL artist Unfunk, is that Unfunk? Unfunk is behind bars for violating the terms of probation put into place after his plea deal in the Georgia RICO case. Plea deal? Sounds like somebody bit the old cheese, if you ask me. If you're going by the Gunna rules. Damn, lil baby. Hope you've unfollowed this guy too. So, the Fulton County officially revoked Unfunk's probation on Monday and sentenced him to 9 years and 6 months in prison after he was charged with firearm possession. This dude was given a sweet plea deal. He got let out of jail like Gunna. Unfunk got let out. They let him out scot-free. And what does he do? Immediately gets caught with a gun, triggering his probation to end. And the 9.5-year prison sentence that was dangled over his head as an incentive for him to behave himself whilst out on probation. Straight to jail. Do not pass go. And I will say, I did watch the footage of him getting the sentence. And my man looked baffled. My man looked like he couldn't believe it. My man looked like he could not believe that he had just blown his last chance. Okay, so look, it says here, I'll show you that in a sec, but look, back in December, Unfunk Quantavious Greer, this guy's got 10 out of 10 for this guy's names. Why would you not want to just go by Quantavious? Anyway, he took a plea deal in the ongoing YSL trial. He got credit for 2 years' time served and was placed on probation for the next 10 years. All you had to do was follow the damn rules, Unfunk. But he didn't. He got caught with a gun, which he was not supposed to have, and got sent back to jail. So let's see if we can grab that footage, because this was, I'll be honest, I don't want to laugh at someone else's misfortune, but this was hilarious, because he is a dummy. He was given a second chance at life, unlike many other people, and he decided to blow that by doing what we would call in the industry as some dumb shit. And I got to tell you, the look on his face when he found out was priceless.
Have a conversation about this firearm, right?
Yes, sir.
So, as I mentioned earlier, I don't take pleasure in sending people to prison. It's part of the job and the responsibilities I have as part of what potential consequences are of people's actions. But in this particular circumstance, the state has alleged that you didn't pay your probation fees, and okay, and I hear I've heard evidence that you haven't paid your fees. You owe $141.08 in fees.
Didn't even pay his $141 in fees, bro. Freedom. I hear a lot of drill rappers recently saying this catchphrase: "Freedom is priceless." Apparently not. Apparently to this guy, was it $147? Nah, 10 years. I'd rather do 10 years in jail than spend $140.
You haven't started any of the community service in this particular case, so I find those to be proven violations. But, you know, those are relatively minor. I mean, we still want you to adhere to all the conditions, but they're the three violations and the grade of those violations, they're not as severe as getting a new case, okay, a new charge. And part of the special condition was that you're not supposed to possess a gun. And
I rate this judge, honestly. I respect this judge. This guy is great. You know, listen, we talk a lot about role models in hip hop, and you know these drill rappers setting a bad example for the youth. You know, if you want to look at if you want to model some success on on somebody that's actually contributing to society, this judge, you know what I'm saying? He's clearly, like, it's not easy to become a judge. I don't know this guy's background, but you got to work your whole damn life. You got to work your ass off to become a judge. This guy's a role model, not Umfook, not Young Thug.
And the state was very clear, and in Ms. Pretty testified earlier about the things that you were given in terms of your reporting in states 1 and 2. And then Ms. Goodacre came in and specifically you signed acknowledgement of firearm in states 3 and prohibition of possessing firearms or ammunition in states 4. And then I saw states 6 and 7, which was the Glock 9 that was taken from the vehicle, which you were the driver, shaded 3 to 4 inches from that. So I find that based upon the evidence presented in this case, the state has proven by a preponderance of the evidence that you have violated your probation in the 3 means as set forth in paragraph 4 in the petition. Now, in terms of the revocation, your attorney has asked me to consider a revocation of 2 years.
So is he saying? I'm pretty. Did he just say, like, Unfunk's attorney said, can you just give us 2 years? Like, just give us 2. I know we're supposed to serve 10. Just throw us a little 2, because you know we've done so much to show how serious we are. You know, not paying the $140. Throw us a bone, Judge.
And I certainly respect her, and I certainly respect that. You know, you don't know unless you ask.
Come on. He's like, I respect that person, and you know, you don't know till you ask. He basically just said, like, I respect the hustle. I respect the balls to come in here and ask for 2 years. But it ain't bad to go that way.
The issue I find aggravating in this particular circumstances are several. You got arrested with a gun within 6 months of you being placed on probation. And I agree with the state that you're not a candidate for probation, because all you had to do is just
follow the damn train,
probation,
CJ.
and do what you're supposed to do. Instead, you were riding around the car with a gun in violation of your probation and what this court explicitly had conversations with you about. Explicitly. On the record. And for that reason, sir, I'm going to revoke the balance of 9 years and 6 months. And you will serve that in the Department of Corrections. And that will be the sentence of the court. Anything further? No, Your Honor. All right, that'll be the sentence of the court. Okay, we're in recess.
See, did you see him there? He damn near, I don't know what he said, but it looked like he basically turned to his lawyer and just was like, dude's tripping. I don't really have to go and serve 9.5 years now, do I? Yeah, you do. You do. You do. And that's all your fault. You screwed up. And I'll be honest, I respect this judge. I want to see more of this guy judging fools, because this guy was given a lot of chances. You know, he was given a lot of fair shakes of the stick, and, you know, he blew it. Let's just watch that again. Let's just watch the moment he dies inside when he realized what he did.
Anything further? No, Your Honor. All right, that'll be the sentence of the court. Okay, we're in recess.
He's like, can I go home and get my stuff? I got to go to jail now? But I got plans. I can't go to jail now. I got plans. Bro, you're done. You're done, Jan. That Munyan got you done, Jan. That was $140 that you could have spent in it. Even just paying the $140 fee, even just paying that would have gone in his favor. He might have got the 2 years. It was like, oh, look, you did everything you had to, and these guys are trying to kill you, and you had to ride around with a gun on probation. Bro, I didn't even pay the fee, bro. But anyway, look, I just want to leave you with one more thing. Two more things, but it's really one thing. So, Unfunk, who we were just looking at, okay, he took his plea back in December 2022. He denied snitching, okay? He released this story saying, damn, people really think I told on my own brother. Shake my head. Show me my paperwork. I told on anybody. I'm not even finna entertain any of it. Well, paperwork dropped. Paperwork party. And did he tell on anybody? Well, I'll tell you what he did do. He did exactly the same thing that Gunna did. But he didn't yes ma'am. He actually put his initial on every line. YSL Young Slime Life is a gang. Pretty sure that's your initials, bro. Pretty sure that's your initials. What was it? Quantavious. What was it? Quantavious Greer. QG Entertainment. That's looking like QG to me. Looking like QG. So he did exactly the same thing as Gunna. Not just that, because Gunna basically, all Gunna admitted was he was in a street gang. YSL's a gang. He was in a car with Thug, and none of the stuff was his, and it was just, blah, blah, blah. This guy, he's admitting YSL wear green. They wear the YSL slime pendant. They curl the pinky ring. I didn't even know this. Curling of the ring and pinky finger inward towards the palm while extending the index and thumb with the middle finger slightly curved. Is that this? Is that the hand sign? I didn't even know. That was a new one to me. So he's spilling all the beans. He's breaking it all down for me, frankly. He's saying slat means slime love all the time. Again, this isn't new info. Okay, this looks like snitching right here. Hang on. I have personal knowledge that members and or associates of YSL have committed at least one of the following acts alleged in the indictment: murder, aggravated assault, robbery, theft, illegal gun possession, illegal firearm possession. I understand that if I violate the pre-agreement, I am subject to having the entirety of my sentence revoked. You crashed out, Unfunk, and I don't even think that's snitching. But what I will say is that I don't think Gunna did anything wrong. I'm glad to see Gunna back out. I think he deserves to be back out. I don't think he deserves to be wrapped up in that whole indictment. Unfunk, I don't actually know the full extent of his involvement in this situation. Maybe he does deserve to crash out about the whole YSL case. Maybe he was very involved. I don't know. I'm going to look into it a little bit more once the case has kind of been settled a bit more. But yeah, man, shout out to Gunna, bro. He's out here living his best life. Getting slopped from every different direction and riding around in the Maybach. And Unfunk is about to serve 7.5 years of pure pain. So that's a major L. Unfortunate. Looking forward to that Gunna album, quite frankly.